In this live coding session, we're going to do test-driven development for SwiftUI. Yep, that is directly TDDing our views using View Inspector. And let's keep going on that to build a game. Hello, and welcome to the Quality Coding live stream. And welcome, first-time chatter, Jimmy0. Good to have you. Thanks for coming and for saying hello in the chat. And we'll see. There's Mud Shark. Yeah, I got the jump on you a little bit, huh? I'd just start, and folks will show up. Good to have you, Mud Shark. Hey, Al. Welcome, welcome. Folks are coming on. As folks are coming in, I'll just introduce myself for anyone new or folks watching after the fact. My name is John Reed. I am a technical coach. I train and code with teams, maybe your team. And the main thing I like to do is work on skills that I think go neglected in the programming community, but that I have a lot of fun with. Anyway, that's enough about me. Except for announcements. Oh, let me also say that if for folks who are new here, if you like what you see, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, do those things. Announcements. I'm speaking at Swiftcraft and doing a workshop. This is a brand new conference in the UK. And that's coming up in 3 weeks, basically. Well, I guess 3 weeks till I leave and get my butt over there to teach. The workshop I'll be teaching for the all-day portion on the 21st is the skills you need to do test-driven development. Hey, Dan. Basically taking TDD and breaking it down into its component skills so that you can work on those so that you can be successful at test-driven development. And there are going to be, of course, lots of other workshops, half-day tutorials, and then the conference itself. It's going to be a blast. And I do have a 15% discount code. Yeah, contact me, DM me. You can email me. You can use my the contact page on my website, Quality Coding, whatever. Come get the discount code. I don't think I'll put it in here yet. Other workshop coming up is Industrial iOS. This one's in person, and that's going to be so much fun to be doing stuff in person. This one's remote, and this will be broken up into 2-hour chunks over 7 weeks, 14 sessions over 7 weeks, meeting twice a week for 2 hours. And we're gonna let me give you the sort of the quick blurb on this, and that is we're gonna drop you into an existing piece of an existing app, a very simple Instagram clone that's got some problems with it. Its performance probably is not that great. I don't think it has tests. And it is initially in UIKit. And what I hope to do in this workshop is we're going to work on testing. We're going to start getting some things under test. And then the cool part is that once we have some tests for the UI part, we're going to start migrating it to SwiftUI. We'll take a chunk of it and using tests, migrate it to SwiftUI. Hey, and Decoder, good to have you. So that is the announcements. Let's see, what else is going on? I think that's it, other than my cough. Oh, El Tigre. Well, how am I going to remember you now? All right. I'll probably have to re-bless you. Like, you probably can't post a link in here anymore until I change that up. Just so you know. Okay, where are we at? Last time we focused on really cleaning up our test. It's funny. One thing I do, because I don't want you to have to sit around, is I warm up my system by running tests before we start this. And it was a little slow. I mean, of course, the very first launch, not of course, sad. Apple, it makes me sad that the first launch of tests is painfully slow. But I expect the subsequent launches to be slow. And it was, of course, it was better, but it was still like this delay. So I rebooted the simulator, and now it should be, when I checked it, it was good. Anyway, so we cleaned up our test last time. Test that tapping a circle turns it orange, where we start with getting the color of the guess. There's only one element on the screen right now, and that is this big circle, which if you tap it, it turns orange. And the tests, the tests confirm that it is not orange when we start. We have this helper that we made together. That was cool. To handle the re-rendering. Basically, with View Inspector, you can test things about the view until it re-renders. And then you can still do it, but it takes a little more work, because, you know, the views are value objects. They're immutable. So we need a way to update the view, and this is how we did it. We tap a button and get the color and assert that it is orange. And what we're trying to do is get to the simplest version, the narrowest slice of Mastermind, where we have two colors you can guess from. One color that contains the guess, and you win or lose. That is where we are. Mastermind itself, let's see. This is the app we are copying. I will not publish mine. So don't worry. I'm not ripping you off here. So I'd like to go with something like this, where we have a guess here and a couple colors to choose from. We can sort of just copy this and see what it does. All right. So the behavior we have right now here, let's start work. Put it into the in progress color. Tapping the color sets the guess hole. Guess hole sounds bad. Hey, there have been a few more folks joining. Welcome. Say hello. All right, let's go. What is our desired behavior? I think it is that tapping blue turns guess blue. How's that? That's pretty good, isn't it? And let's start off. We are going to start with the game screen. Now this will change the state. So I think we have to copy some of this here. And we need a color. Okay, well, fine, be that way. Oh, UI color. I'm old. Yes, folks, you just caught me typing UI. It's deep in my bones. Drink. I'm drinking coffee. Hopefully you don't, if this turns into a drinking game, that'll be all we have of that. What can I say? So clearly this is wrong, right? We're trying to create our test. The assertion is easy. The act is what we need. We need to write but I think it is still going to be a button. Here's why. Down the road, we want the ability to also tap on these to say which guess are we targeting in the current round. Can't tap these. So it's still a button. So we want additional buttons. So tap what even is this? Oh, okay. So I want to say like find a specific one. Probably a view with an ID of color 1. How about that? So we tap color 1, which we will say is blue, and that doing that should change the color of the guess. Now this should fail because there is no color 1. Well, it didn't fail in the way I thought it would. I thought it was going to complain right there. That's okay. I can see why it didn't, and that's because, but it's still a surprise. Right? It's like, why didn't it put the error here? Well, that's because this closure gets wrapped up, not inside of our helper, but which is here, which puts it in the view inspector hook. Here's our closure itself. Oh, I'd like to move these things down. Let's do that next. Move helpers down. Make a little note of that. But what happens is the view inspector takes the closure and wraps it again. So it's a little bit Not great. What do you want to do here? Like maybe what I can do is find the button first and then tap it. Why don't we do that? So I'm still I want it to fail, but I want it to fail in the way that I like. So this will be blue. Can we pass down the file and path arcs? There is no need to. Basically, because well, I assume it failed here, but this is on something that throws, and you can't attach. There's no assertion. You see what I mean? It's just throwing an exception, or rather, exception isn't the right word, is it? Anyway, it's throwing, I think, but it's still, yeah, still not quite what I expect. So let's do this. Let's start off here. I think we need a try on that. Oh, okay. Oh, this is starting to get messed up. And it's a little tricky. We have the SUT, and we have shoot. Can we do a do try in our display helper to catch? Oh. Hey, Dustin. A very good idea. Basically, rather than letting the thing fail through there, let's see if we can't do this. But first, let's see what this looks like. That's a great idea. There. At least it freaks out. It freaks out in the way we want. With the test, yeah. So there we can see the message. I kind of like Dustin's idea, rather than trying to do all this out here. Let me set this back. Let's see what this does. Hello, Omar. Omar is still on the hype train, it seems. That's how I interpret that little thing and use. Yeah. Good to have you. Okay. I wish it were. I wish we didn't have to. include the message. What about catching in our helper itself? Possibilities. Thank you, Omar. Having done that, we should be able to do that. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. That's better. Thank you, Al. Let's try that. You are quite right. Let me double check that by clearing out all test results, because we don't trust. There we go. Okay. Thanks, Al. Well, let's keep going. This is better. It's still, I don't like how it's gross, but we can work on making it less gross. It's more important that it works. And it's more important to me that we can... my brain is going in 100 different directions. It's more important to me to get good feedback. All right, so let's call this red. Now, the first thing we can do is add another view here. Let's bring the preview back. No need for it to be so ginormous. How about that? Okay. All right. Here we go. Help me out here. We want something. We want another button with an ID of color 1. All right. That's obviously not what we want, but let's see if, let's complete that. So there's, that's just placeholder text? There. Now let's see what the test does. Okay, good. It seems to have made it through here and failed now in... I'm worried about this. Why isn't it orange? What's up with this? Why are they both failing? All right. We need to slow down, clearly, because we're getting multiple failures. And it's probably because we added that button, and now it can't find the color of the guess. Okay. Okay. So Now we should be able to say, okay, the problem is this, and we can see it right from this except error cookie. They're not exceptions, John. They're errors. That's what I need to say. Saying it can't find this button, but we should be able to fix that. Here's the thing we could do. We could apply the Mikado method and say, we need to make a change. The Mikado method, if you haven't seen it, it's very similar to discovery trees, except the thing that's different that a discovery tree doesn't require, excuse me, is when there is basically a subtask, something that's like, oh, in order to do that, I need to do this other thing. The Mikado method says, okay, so note down what that prerequisite is and then reset. Now, I don't know if I want to reset or not, but it is a good reminder to change or add ID to yes. So we can move it. It's moved around. So we need to do that. Do I want to fix forward or... Let's try fixing forward real quick. Here's this button. If I say it is guess one, going back to the reporting, what I meant with adding the file and path args would involve making two changes. The function signature in display. Oh, by the way, I should note, for folks who want to follow along, because I figured this is how you've been able to help me before. That is the code. So, El Tigre, I'm going to call you El Tigre. Good idea. Let's come back to it. The important thing right now is to stay on target. What I want to do, one of the important skills of TDD is to do one thing at a time, not two things at a time. Hopefully we are changing the test code or the production code. Here I'm cheating and I'm saying, let's just see if we can't get to green real fast by changing our find here. This is going to be a find. Where'd it go? Let's see if we get back to green. We do not. Okay. It's time to reset. I thought that would fix it. Since I don't know what's going on, we will try again. Haha. Whoops. I need to get to the right one. Also, let me do a poll just in case there's something that's changed up there. Okay. Okay. This is one of the things, another practice that is good with TDD is you set a timer for yourself. In this case, I had an internal timer. It's like, how quickly does it take to get from step to step of TDD? And if you can't get it, reset. and try again. So in this case, we are doing the Mikado method. I have done a reset, and this is what we're going to focus on. We're going to change this get color of guess and try to figure out how to work it. Let me try just directly right. So this will fail right there. Wrong shortcuts. So why am I unable to move this, to add another element? Like let's just add a text label. Right, there it is. Hello, chicken flavored cigarette. So the perennial question, but thank you for raising it. Does it make sense to write unit tests for SwiftUI views? During the 2023 WWDC Build Programmatic UI with Code preview session, it was suggested that we could utilize previews to test various states of the views. You need to wrap the views in a group view. It's funny, it displays okay. We want it in a stack. A body can only have one view. Shoot. Okay. So going back to this question, Apple is cheating us, and that's part of what this whole exercise is for. Is that Apple's answer to testing any views is two parts, and this is commonly repeated among iOS developers. What do you do with views? And the answer that's given is don't unit test them. Instead, use UI tests. Two parts. I don't like either of those. And so we're using View Inspector, because with View Inspector, we can, as you can see, if I just remove this text here, we are able to test the button because this is logic. This here is logic. Now, should this move out to a view model? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's too simple. This is one of the realizations I had with seeing the sort of, they're not exactly debates, but people are putting out blog posts, prominent people like Azam Sharp, saying we don't need view models for everything. As it turns out, I agree. You don't. Not for everything. Use it when it makes sense. The view model to me should be a helper. But at first, it should be an implementation detail that the test doesn't care about, because the test doesn't know anything except for, excuse me, I'm just burpy today, except for the view. So hope that helps. Oh, I'm catching up. Oh, yeah. It's very silly. This is how I've tested UIKit view controllers for the longest time, by directly targeting a button and issuing a tap to it and seeing, does it have the effect? So if we slap it in. So here's the first challenge. Will this pass? Okay, let's start here. Obviously, we want to be able to have it inside of various stacks to position things. And this is a problem we deferred before. We just wanted, in our tests, we're just going right from the view and saying, okay, so there should be a button right there. And that was good enough to get us started. But now we feel a need to locate the button. Why is it not working? Is it guess one? It is guess one. Why is find? Oh, I'm sorry. The find is working just fine now. I got thrown off by the color and the proximity to this, to the first guess. Let me try that again. Yep. That's exactly what happened. So I think I got thrown off. Yeah, I just got thrown off by the color. Right? There we go. So here, it can't find it. By the way, when I'm coding and I don't have a ginormous font like this, I put test code and production code side by side. I always split it. The reason I'm not doing that is for folks who are watching on small screens. All right, so we restore the ID. Now that passes. Okay, so we should be able to do the same thing here. All right, I think that's working. There we go. Oh, let's try it again. Uh-oh. Problem. So it's not the get the color of the guess that is failing this time. What do we do? What does this say? Found a VStack with a bunch of stuff instead of a button. Huh? Let's have a look. Good question. Oh, let's try this. I think we need to keep the hook on the outside. Damn it. All right, the quickest way to get there, to try to get back, would be to say forget the find Hello, first-time chatter. On der Lens. Maybe the idea must be applied to the VStack instead of the button view. I don't know. Is it the type difference? Maybe Ander might be right in that maybe I'm finding the button and then saying, okay, and where's the button? Let's see if this works. No, that does not work. All right. It's time to go searching for. Actually, sorry. Before I search, could be. Let's do search the tests. Ah, you do. I forget. I keep thinking that you're some new guy who's super smart. And then it's like, oh, it's El Tigre. Let's take a look at what we have here. Mm-hmm. Oh, before we move on, first-time chatter and long-time follower, Tyler, thank you. Fellow iOS old-timer from Obc days. Hey, I remember Objective-C. Long-time follower of your blog, recently catching up on this series. I've been enjoying going through the GitHub Actions as I was in your shoes about a year ago, when I was setting up some self-hosted runners. But hey, almost caught up, but I figured I'd join. Oh, so you're actually working through all the previous ones. Well, glad to have you. And thanks for saying hello. The guess one ID is the button, so I don't think you can grab a button on the view. Yeah. Yeah, that's my guess also. If we change this to not use that, but we just say, what was it? Like that. Even that doesn't work. This is an important thing that we need to work through, because we don't want our tests to be sensitive to the location of elements. We want to be able to move stuff around wherever and all the tests still work. Found a VStack instead of a button. What is it even? Found a VStack instead of the button. Okay, so if we comment out the get the color of the guess, why is that? Problem now is on line 24. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. It's not the only place. Oh, shoot. Okay. So it's the same thing we had before, where it's throwing, but it's sort of doing it silently. It's absorbing it and resulting in the actual error getting thrown off. Thank you. That was the problem. Here, I'd fooled my brain into thinking, this is the only place where we refer to the button. But it's not. We sort of have like what to tap and what the guess, where to find the resulting circle for the guess. Shoot. Okay. Thanks for doing this. For coming along with me on this ride. We are learning together. That was important, and that was important enough to commit. Hoo, hoo, hoo. All right. So we'll get there. I'm not worried that we'll get there. But this is, you're seeing me have this difficulty, and so glad that you're helping me. Our collective minds, and this is why mob programming or ensemble programming is so valuable, so important for real work. Solo work is a waste. But collectively, we're figuring it out, and yet we have to press through these barriers if we're going to be successful with the experiment of writing unit tests directly against views. This is people who try this and get frustrated and say, then it's not working. No, we can get there. All right, let's commit this because this is an important point where we need to right now change two things until we separate what we tap and what we check. All right. Oop. Yes. Let's find a way. Thank you. All right. So this is was not a procedural refactoring. I'm going to say this is a feature or capital. Yeah, well, yeah. It is, it's a refactoring. All we've done is we haven't added any behavior. All right, I'll call it this. No, I'm feeling this. This is a feature. And push. And there you should be able to grab it. Okay. This is very exciting, very challenging, very good. Shall we add the file and line info to the display function now? Because that killed us. Yow. How would we do that? Because we have this closure. You found a way, Dustin. Paste in your thoughts. On line 8, I'll do that. Oh shoot, well, it's been so long since my since I've used this shortcut. Hang on a second. Let me find it. They have the keyboard shortcuts, the snippets so well hidden now. It's practically impossible. Here we go. Test helper, that's what I called it. There we go. Okay, so there's our file and line of the call site. Line 9 would be oh. Dang, you are well versed with the internals. So we've got file and line here that comes before the perform. File, file, line, line. Yep. Dustin, you were right in between you and Decoder El Tigre. Okay, so this, of course, will still pass. But now if I mess this up by getting rid of that VStack, that is much better. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. All right. It's also getting like impossible to read. Actually, I have, I'm wondering if Swift format will do this for me. I'm trying to remember where I set up Swift format. Uh-oh, is it not? Wrong. Wait a second. Control M? I wish there were a way to search for things by key. The only way I can think of is to add something like to say show all. Let's change that to format multiple lines. Ah. Thank you. That's great. What happened to my Swift format? Option Command L. I think I need to, it probably got kicked out due to, it needs permissions and so forth because it's a plugin. This is great. This is so much better. And now I know you ought to have this anytime you call a helper with SUT on. This has to be in there. Has to. This is excellent. That should be a test only change. So T pass file and line to display helper. Woo! Also, I learned about Control M. Should we extract the part of get color of guest that finds the button to a separate function? Because of the duplication we have here and here? Not yet, I think. And the reason is because I want to change this. I want to throw this away. By the way, can we now do a find? Instead of, like, right now, it's now we've locked the path in to say, okay, look for the VStack, get the 0th thing. Right. Exactly. But I'd like to avoid the VStack altogether in the test code, I mean. Here it is. So we've worked around the problem. We've found a great way to do this helper. Super important. By the way, this starts... No, I was like, should we move the... rearrange the order? It's like, no, because we want these to come in implicitly and this one to be provided. So it should still be okay. Gosh, what a lifesaver though. That's exactly right, Dustin. I don't want it coupled to the implementation. I don't even want to access the VStack. I just want to get straight to the button. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for the bump there. The button has the ID of guess one. Why am I not able to do a find directly on it? Well, see, now we can do this. Oh man, what a lifesaver. Yeah. It seems that in order to use View Inspector really well, at least to make helper methods, I need to lean into poking at its insides more. View Inspector has a find all. Where is find in the tests anyway? Find all. Find all looks like it returns a collection, or that is an array. of things, which you then are able to do interesting things with. That's good to know. Find. We're looking for view with ID. Let's have a look at this. So here it is under view search tests that we find this stuff. Find all where. Find all. I don't want to find all though, because find all is like scoop up every instance and return them as an array. And I'm just looking for one thing. Instead, we're looking for I thought we tried that, but we can try it again. We'll take it one step at a time. You know, since we got here, since this works, yeah, so find returns a, well, let's see what it returns. An inspectable view. And then it's like, okay, and basically turn that, like locate inside of the inspectable view the button, I believe. Button itself is on inspectable view. That is funny. It's a little confusing, I admit. You know, we need to get a button. It can't just be a view with this ID. But that is working. The view we have here is an inspectable view, I believe. Yes. All right. This is find button by ID for tap. Cool. And and push. Tell you, this is good. All right. So, can I now do this? Yes. I'm not sure how it's working, but Omar is expressing sort of the intuitive grasp I have of it right now, which is we find something, we want to turn it into something, specifically into a button, sort of casting it. We're learning. We're learning. Right. If we didn't need to tap it, we could just refer to it. But because we want to tap it, or in this case, find the label view inside of it. Wow. I think we succeeded in this, but let's now add something else in the VStack. Like if we just, yeah, what's going on exactly? So do I want to VStack and HStack? I guess it doesn't matter what I add. Also, another learning is that, right, I couldn't just, I couldn't do that. Oh, the on appear, yeah. It's like, where does the on appear live? It's got to be on a single view. It's almost like if we don't have the VStack, if we just put a text and a button, it's like, yeah, here's a text and here's a button, but I'm returning a single view, so it's the button. Or something like that. You know, throws the text away, even if the preview was deceptive and rendered it for us without error, it was incorrect. Well, I'm not sure why. It should still work. I see. Yes, it does work. I think I want to keep the inspector out at the outermost level, though, because we're writing tests against this whole game screen. As we extract things, it'll make sense maybe to have them have our view inspector hooks here and there. So yeah, adding text flies by. No problem. So that's great. We have gone over, but I sure want to add a couple buttons. And when I say gone over, that's because in the past, up until a couple times ago, I tried to say, let's keep these at 60 minutes, and I'm starting now to feel a little constrained by them. So let's keep going a little more until, like, my bladder from my coffee calls me back home. All right, if we have a couple of buttons, oh, and this I am satisfied with. Ooh, we did a thing. So if we have, it's more like we need an H stack. Let's try this. Let's put, was it that lengthy? Right, let's move things around. If that's the guess, and we have a second button, that is color 1. Which is blue. And it turns this blue. Okay, so here's where people, I think, do testing with previews. is because there. So that's an argument for you don't need tests. We just saw it. We verified it. And that's somewhat plausible, except that it then doesn't lead to the ability to refactor exactly without repeating that. It's essentially a manual test without firing up the whole app. Not firing up the whole app is nice, but it's a manual test nonetheless. And manual tests are helpful for when you're trying to get something established and you don't have tests in place yet. Snapshot testing, I would rather have. Can't have the CI, just see it in a preview. Yeah. Snapshot testing, I think, is more valuable for layout, and I want to avoid it for behavior. It would be a solution, possibly, if you could tap the darn thing. The CI has no eyes. All right. Let me reset. Let's let me address a note here, which is to move these helpers down so that the tests are up high. So yeah, I would avoid snapshot tests for testing behavior. I would only want them for layout, and then wow, it was such a massive pain when we had snapshot tests that were all rendered on Intel and they failed on M1, or you're working on M1, but the CI build system is still an Intel machine. And the math is different. And so it's like, okay, then if we can't get pixel perfect precision, then let's add some fuzziness. Well, that makes them slow. One of the nice things about snapshot tests is that they're really fairly fast as long as they are exactly the same. They're still, I think, I would say an order of magnitude slower than a microtest. The ability rant. And it's a little bit of a pain. You can get people to use the same simulator and so forth by adding checks. I used to do this by having a little building it into was it a test? Or was it something else in a build phase? I think the build phase, I just checked, are you using the right version of Xcode? Because that could also affect the pixels. And then I think I had a test saying, are you using the correct version of the simulator? But architecture was still a pain. Okay, Dustin's rant. The ability to use previews to test is best facilitated by having dumb views. In my experience, you deteriorate or even lose that ability as views get complicated with logic or side effects. Amen, brother. Yeah. Yeah, these are the things we're feeling here. All right, I moved these. So this is move helpers down. All right, stick around. We are going to now separate this. And in fact, let's change the first test because we're going to throw it away. Instead of tapping guess one, we want to tap color one and see that it's blue. And I guess I'll say it shouldn't be blue to start with, right? And this now will fail with something useful. Oh, thank you, Ander El Tigre, whatever. This is good. Oh, this is good. Okay. Get color of guess right now is hard-coded to guess 1. Should it take an argument? That's a nice idea. Down the road. Stay on target. All right. Let's do this then. And even though, you know, I got it to work, just by changing it, now we'll have tests that ensure, let's H stack this. This will still fail by saying it's the wrong color. Good, because it went to orange. That's its original behavior. Or that is its original, whoop. Right. Here. So if we say blue, it's like this now goes away. There's no real action on it yet. Right, so I think this will pass. Right, and we can see this in a manual test like that. But there we go. This is now invalid. Our test name is now invalid. Tapping blue color turns guess blue. We did it. We got 1. Commit. This is a feature. Woohoo! Now what I would like is that, whoops, sorry. I'd like we have okay. Oh, it should be green. Thank you. That's a good thing. Our test, we want to be able to change these colors. That shouldn't affect the game at all, right? Whatever colors, you know, the designers say, we need color 1 to be turquoise. Well, it's like, okay, change it to turquoise. And maybe we have a single test that's like the color 1 should be turquoise. And everything else is saying, I'm using color 1, whatever it is. Thank you. Let's note that down because I feel a need for this. So one thing is to add second color and make tests check. Tests should check color match, not color value. Nice. Let's do that. Like what is in here that suggests the blueness of blue? And here's some duplication. This is color 1. Blue, blue. It's almost like if we had a test that color 1 was green or whatever, and then tapping color 1 turns this guess into the same color as color 1. Nice. All right. Let's soldier on a little further. I'm feeling my bladder. It can wait, because this is some good stuff here. I think I would like an idea of what the colors are. Right, I'm gonna add a test right here, even though it's the wrong place. Test color choices. And essentially I want color 1 to be, if we just match it according to this right now, green, and color 2 to be blue. Okay? Oh, speaking of, I think I didn't have Copilot on. I just noticed it wasn't annoying me. Oh well, we'll use it next time. How to express this? Okay. Copilot. I don't know about that. No, 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 no. How to deal with the humanness of like color 1 versus the computerness of color 0. Maybe we want 0 indexed things, except then that'll confuse conversations with product or with the designers. Might need this to cook for a while. I think so. I think we're starting to reach a point. Yeah. We'll come back to this, probably with an array of colors. All right. Good enough. Excellent work, everyone. Well done. I am on 15.2. There's a warning. Main actor isolated game screen test has a different actor isolation from non-isolated. Oh, crap. You serious? Shoot. Tyler, you may have just forced me to upgrade my OS. Yeah, I've been avoiding it because I generally see little benefit in moving forward until I have to. Let me note that down. I have to do that very carefully with backups, full backup of my system. Oh, William, Mr. Bill Wake in the house. It's not a color. Thank you. It's an idea. Because we want to say, I'm colorblind. So use symbols instead. Hmm? Two-hour streams. Oh boy. So that is a excellent point. Thank you. Should match. It's not a color, it's a guess. It's a code. That's the concept we need. Should check code, not color. I've got my last drips of coffee. Oh my gosh. Do people actually do that? 24 hours? That's nuts. I'm too old for that crap. Yeah. We should say it is equivalent to a guess, a code, and have a different way of saying, and how do you represent that code? How do you render this code? Is it a code? Is the whole thing a code? We're going to have to sort out some domain ideas here, which would not have come if Bill hadn't asked that question. Yep, something like that, Tyler. It's like, whatever it is, it should be the same thing, and then have a different thing for, like, I want to render this with a, please render thing out here. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Okay. Takeaways. Pass file and line into whatever it was. The display helper. Yeah. Code mapper, all that. This was huge. Without this, our errors were getting silently swallowed. And we had no idea. This was really good. What else? What else? What else? What were the other key takeaways? Here, let's review this. Yeah. It's funny because I thought we had that button, that ID. Oh, we had the two. We really tripped on ourselves because we had the button here and we had the button there. So like, beware of God, I'm still kicking myself because I said we'll do this later, and this turned out to be the thing that slowed us down so much. With ID, then whatever that means. It's like, is it a child? Not exactly, but as far as View Inspector goes, it would seem yes. Remember, I say remember, but I actually learned this from a Codeco tutorial on View Inspector, and that was that part of what they showed in their article, in their tutorial, is that the way View Inspector works is by using Swift's mirroring to build up basically a parallel structure. So it's not actually operating on your views. Instead, it is peeking into this and saying, let me make my inspectable HStack. Inside of that, let me make my inspectable button. And inside of that, an inspectable circle and so forth. So you end up with this kind of parallel world that is testable. Brilliant. But because of that, it would seem the rules are a little different as far as like, how once you find something, then how, like once we find guess one and we want to tap the button or get into its label, what do we do? So I think that's the disconnect. Let's note that down. As pseudo child. And use codes, not colors, is going to be a good one. That's just ingenious. All right. That is it. Let me remind you that sign up for my Industrial Logic Industrial iOS workshop. Come to SwiftCraft in the UK and contact me. I've been given, just before this stream started, a secret code. That's probably not going to be that secret, but anyway, it's for the speakers to share for 15% discount. So contact me if you want to come to SwiftCraft, and I would love to see you there. For folks who have watched this far, actually for any Twitch folks, let me say first, I apologize for Sundays off. There are going to be some more times off because I'll be going to the UK coming up in a few weeks. But I hope you enjoy this. I certainly value having you and your input. Consider subscribing to support this stream. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a like. Give it a like. No passport. How can you even exist? Yeah, on YouTube, give it a like, and hit subscribe and hit the bell and all that. next time we'll dig into more. And this was huge. Today was huge. I really thank you. All right. Take care.